Well, Mike, thank you so much for helping me with my project.
You're welcome.
Could you introduce yourself a little bit? Where do you live? What do you do? That type of thing?
My name is Mike Triplett. I live in Somerville, Texas, just north of Houston. I work in oil and gas construction. I'm a project manager dealing with midstream projects, mostly facilities.
Wow. How has the oil thing affected your work?
So we've in the last 2 months laid off about 95% of our company, unfortunately. We went from having a backlog of a little over $100 million worth of projects to having no projects. It'll come back, it's just, everybody's just put everything on hold. And so we're hoping that it creeps back up. We do have a couple small things in the works. And so we're just waiting for it to rebound.
I have a North Houston Space Society chapter I put together, and we have kind of a success story to share. We have a person that was in oil and gas as a project manager, and he had a dream of like going to aerospace maybe next year or the year after that, but he got laid off in March, and he went and applied for a project manager job with Blue Origin in Huntsville, Alabama, and he's now going to go work in Blue Origin. So it kind of accelerated his dream a little bit.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful.
And there's actually lots, like in Boca Chica, Texas, SpaceX has a facility where they're building like this 100% reusable Starship. And they need like lots of trades, and like they need business analysts, project managers, supply chain experts, buyers, financial analysts, welders, lots of things. So we might see a lot of people in oil and gas take on a lot more futuristic roles.
I think you might.
So, well, I guess first off, did you know that NASA is planning to go to the moon in 2024?
I think I may have seen that. Maybe you could come across my Facebook feed or something. I don't.
Yeah, we're friends on Facebook, so it's probably shared out a few too many. But actually most of the people that I talk to don't know about it. So it's like and I know you used to, you had like a domain speculation business a long time ago, and was into like internet marketing and things like that. And I know you've kind of transitioned away from that, but it's always hard to leave our previous interests completely. I was wondering if you had any advice to NASA or something on how to get that out there more broadly.
As far as the message goes, I mean, I've always, I've done a lot of different things over the years, and I always come back to, pure social media marketing seems to be, what's done well for me. But other than that, people like events, and people like, different partnerships with maybe different areas and different industries, and anytime you can bring somebody in that you wouldn't normally be part of your realm, you're talking about oil and gas, or whatever, any industry that you can kind of cross market and tie together with something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right. Cross marketing is the key, about finding a little bit about the bubble you want to engage with and the bubble that you want to be engaged, and find that cross connect.
Right.
So what do you think about space exploration? I've talked to a range of people. Some people are like, wow, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's our future. Other people are like, wow, let's go beat the Chinese. And other people are like, oh my gosh, we have like this pandemic thing going on. How are we still sending people up into space?
I think I probably have a mixed, mixed interest or mixed opinion. Just from, a pure technology standpoint, I think it's really, really cool. Just to think that, as the human race, to be able to put somebody in a tin can and shoot them out into space and bring them back safely, from a technological standpoint, it's pretty amazing. So, you know, my interest, background in technology, you know, that's definitely something that, you know, I find really cool. At the same time, I guess I'm probably removed enough to not understand, you know, all of the benefits maybe to the amount of effort and money and resources and time that's put into it. I mean, I'm sure we've come up with lots of wonderful things, you know, from the science end, maybe doing experiments and stuff in space that aren't necessarily, you know, feasible to do here. But other than that, you know, I don't really, I don't know. I just think it's cool.
You know, sometimes that's the best reason to do something anyway, is
Oh,
that
for
it
sure.
excites us. And, you know, if you look at humanity in 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 years from now, I mean, would you want to see like humanity expand beyond Earth, or do you think that's more of a pipe dream, or, you know, not really necessary?
No, I think I absolutely believe that we will. Whether it's necessary, again, I think it, you know, for me, it kind of goes back to the cool factor. Is it necessary in the next few hundred years that we leave our planet and go populate somewhere else? Probably not. You know, maybe in, you know, 10,000 years, maybe it's going to be a necessity. So for me, I think it's still kind of a cool factor. You know, I don't know that I would jump on a starship and head to Mars, but I know a lot of other people would. So I mean, from the cool factor, yeah, I think we will. Is it necessary? Probably not.
Well, um, maybe not necessary from the sense of we can't survive here on Earth without it, but maybe necessary from the sense of, hey, that sense that we're actually expanding, and that, the life is going to be more interesting and bigger and what have you in the future. I mean,
Right.
it's very easy to fall into like the situation where it's all about addressing problems. It's like, we're polluting the environment. We got to go fix it. There's poor people. We got to make them not poor. There's, sick people. We need to make them healthy. There's endangered species. But what about those things that actually go and say, yes, we're actually doing something that's enriching humanity as opposed to just making it less bad?
Right on. Yeah, absolutely.
So I know you said you had no interest in maybe taking a 5-month journey in a can to Mars and being suited up in a spacesuit and never being able to go outside and have to be like 2 years before you get back to Earth or anything like that. But assuming it was safe and affordable and it was more like a weekend trip or a week-long trip to into orbit, is that something that you would be of interest in doing?
Oh yeah, totally. I would totally go into orbit, for a short trip, knowing that I would be back the next day or the next couple of days or whatever. That would definitely be something I would do.
So if Virgin Galactic comes down, offer their $250,000 price for like a suborbital flight, and it was more like 10,000, that might be something that would interest you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, Mike, I really appreciate your time today. Did you have any thoughts in closing?
No, I think that I'm excited that NASA's revisiting some efforts to get back, and I think the moon is cool. I don't think my knowledge is we haven't been to the moon in quite a while, correct?
72.
72, yeah. So I think we're long overdue to get back out there and do some exciting stuff. And whether it's just, like you said, expanding our horizons and doing it just because we can and enriching, human life just from an exploration standpoint, or if something, scientific does come of it, which I'm sure it will, yeah, I think we're a little overdue to get back to doing some cool stuff like this. So I'm excited for you guys.
And, that reminds me of one other thing. This Wednesday is going to be the first time that we've launched astronauts from the US since 2011.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've been buying seats on the Russian Soyuz, which has got to be really amusing to people like Buzz Aldrin, who remembers the Cold War.
Right.
But,
Exactly.
and it's the first time that we're sending astronauts on a completely commercial vehicle, a vehicle
So
that
this
you
is
and I
SpaceX?
exactly. Yeah. We could actually buy a ticket on it. We just need to go found an internet startup 20 years ago.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, wait.
Well, thank you so much, Mike. I hope you have a good rest of your day and weekend.
All right. You too, Nathan. Good talking to you.
Good. Bye-bye.
Bye.